Hey, welcome to the Summit Host Hangout podcast, where you'll learn how to host a high converting virtual summit that leads to your biggest signature offer launch yet. I'm your host, Krista from Summit in a Box, and this is our last episode of 2023. And what else would I even do rather than reflect on how the year went and look ahead to next year and all that good stuff? It felt cheesy at first when, I had the idea for the episode, but it's a natural fit. I also think it's perfect because I know a lot of my listeners don't care at all about episodes like this. They just want the summit stuff, but some of you love it. So the end of the year where people are only paying attention to really the things they want to and are kind of checked out from everything else, perfect time to fit something like this in, right? So I hope if you are the type of person who likes a little behind the scenes, I hope you love this episode. So first of all, if I look back at 2023, the first thing I have to say is a nice, big, cheesy thank you to everyone who has supported us, whether that means listening to this podcast, telling someone about us, sending me a nice email or message. I can't even tell you how much those mean. And especially thank you to those of you in Summit in a Box, in the Launch with the Summit Accelerator. I would not be here without you guys. Someone chewed me out in July for selling my offers on a workshop that I taught. But I literally could not do any of what I do without selling those things. So I'm so grateful for every one of you who sees the potential, believes in yourself, believes in me, and dives in. I do not take that lightly. Every single time someone joins one of our programs, I stop and I pray and I give thanks and pray for you to have successful summits and, just see your impact grow the way that you want to. So I never take it lightly. I'm always cheering for you and always grateful for you. So with that being said, let's get on to some highlights and lessons. I wanted to start with the highlights and thinking back on the year and just kind of what's sticking out to me as things I want to keep doing and things that felt good and all of that. So the first highlight that I have from 2023 is working less and doing less. And I never really saw myself being in a place where I could or would want to do that. I've always just been really driven by work. I love it. I love what I do. When people ask what my hobby is, it's really a struggle for me to think of something outside of work and kids, right? But it's because I love work. And for a long time, I didn't have any other hobbies because truly work was just fun for me. And I think that was okay for a long time, but then it got to a point where it was more unhealthy than fun, right? And I was working extra because I felt the pressure and I felt like I had to, and I felt like I wouldn't succeed if I wasn't just putting my all into everything all the time. And a lot of help from my coach who, you've heard me gush about before, you'll hear it again. I've just gotten a much healthier relationship with work going on right now. So I'm working a lot less. I'm not working any nights, any weekends. I'm taking random days off if I want to, take Friday mornings off. I don't push it if I come to work and I'm just not feeling it. I'm able to do that because I'm doing less. We have always done quarterly launches or even more often than that because I love the energy of a launch. I really do. I love summits and challenges and webinars and workshops and anything where I'm communicating with all of you because that's what lights me up. As much of an introvert as I am, nothing else lights me up in business more than talking to all of you, encouraging you, seeing progress, seeing breakthroughs and things like that. So that's why the launches have always fit, but it just got to be a lot. And I just felt like I wanted a break, and I gave myself the space to take a break. And I thought that gave me space to do things that were more beneficial for my business than just launching on repeat. We were able to make things better, support our clients better, experiment with other strategies that have worked really well for us and will be able to keep us out of the constant launch cycle, which I'm happy to, or excited to be able to tell you more about as time goes on. And yeah, it's been really good. So I'm hoping I can really keep that going in 2024, not fall back into, hustle mode or anything like that. But that has definitely been a big highlight, getting a much healthier balance between life and work and being able to focus on my girls when I'm not working. Whereas before, when I was with them, I was worried about work. When I was working, I was worried about them. Now it's just a much better situation. So that's definitely a highlight. Another big highlight is really getting into the swing of things in our Launch with the Summit Accelerator program. So we launched that in April 2022, I think. And I think I knew from the beginning that it was going to work and that it was going to be good and we were going to do good things for people. but it didn't happen right away. Like we got the results for people right away, but I wasn't sure if it was going to sustain our business right away. I didn't know if it was going to be able to become our signature thing, and if I was going to feel confident enough in it to keep it going as our main thing. And I'm happy to see, looking back, that that's exactly what it's done. It is such an incredible program to be able to coach in. Our clients at least have told me it's an incredible program to be a part of, and like coaching in it, offering it to people, like it lights me up. More than any of our other offers ever have. And I never thought something was going to like have a more special place in my heart than Summit in a Box, because like that was our bread and butter here for years. And I thought like that was always going to be the thing. And that's not going anywhere. But the accelerator is just different. I think because I get to have a deeper relationship with our clients, I get to have my hands in their events more. I just get to have a closer eye on the impact that it's making for them, for their people, and how it like expands out from there. So it's been so good to be able to have that offer become our core offer, have that be the thing that sustains our business month after month, and just like being able to look forward, continuing to offer it. I feel like I'm forgetting English a lot in this episode, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. I think it's because I don't like have an outline. So we're just winging it, and maybe I need my outlines back. But anyway, the next highlight I've had is talking to more of you. So I've never really done any type of like one-on-one calls with people where I am kind of illustrating the power of summits to them, walking through framework stuff, talking about how we can support them if that's something they're interested in, anything like that. Like it's never like a sleazy sales call or anything, but I've never done anything like that before. And I'm doing it a lot these last couple months, and I love it. I seriously thought I would hate it. I've always hated calls on my calendar. Like I just want free space to be and think and work and do tasks. But I really love this. It's given me a much better idea of what everyone wants and needs and what their problems are and how I can help and support, and when I'm not the best fit to help and support, and that's okay too. And, I'll talk more about that highlight, I guess, when we get into lessons. But talking to more of you has been a highlight. So if you're someone who has hopped on a call with me, over the past few months, it has been a joy. Again, we're cheesy in this episode. That's what it's going to be. Another highlight was bringing back Q&A calls to Summit in a Box. I don't remember exactly when we ditched the Q&A calls. I think it was when we launched the accelerator, because I wanted to make it very clear how different those programs are. The accelerator is where you get support. Summit in a Box is like a DIY program, right? And in Summit in a Box previously, we had a VIP group where we were answering people's questions all the time. We had, was it monthly or bi-weekly Q&A calls? I don't remember. We had Q&A calls. We had reviews and critiques. And like, honestly, I was running like a self-study course, it's not a course, it's better than a course, but basically a self-study course as a group coaching program, but charging a regular course price. And it just wasn't sustainable. And my answer was to just get rid of everything. And as a result of talking to more of you over the past couple of months and making connections and not wanting to be like, okay, welcome to Summit in a Box, good luck. I wanted to be able to like offer support, keep up with you, keep connections going. We brought back Q&A calls. We've only had a couple as of right now, but so far people are coming to them, and I'm really liking being able to answer questions and support people in that way. So that has definitely been a highlight, to be able to start building relationships with our students in that program again. I definitely missed that. Another highlight was my first like real in-person business event. And like I did like one mastermind-ish, quote unquote, getaway back in 2018. Like I reached out to some of my business friends and was like, hey, want to go somewhere? And we went to Palm Springs together. And then I went to one little mastermind, like 2-day mastermind thing with 3 other people in 2017. But, those were great. But I've never been to like something bigger. And I went to my first one in October. I think there were like 40 people there, all part of a program I'm in. And it was really great. Like there were some things I didn't love. The introvert in me was a little iffy about an in-person event, but like the energy of it and like the energy of being in a room with other people who are aiming for the same thing as you is way more powerful than I expected. So I definitely need to keep that going. That was definitely a highlight. Another big highlight for this last year was hiring another team member. I did not think it was going to happen, even a month before. I was like, I do not want to hire anyone else. I don't want to have to train anyone else, support anyone else. I don't want to have to worry about like paying anyone else, because that's like a lot of pressure on my heart to be supporting other people. But it was the right move. It was so great. I'm going to give a full overview of our team growth in an upcoming episode here. Maybe February. We'll see. So yeah, I'll give you more details there, but it was great. It was the right move. She's such a joy. So much fun to have on the team. And yeah, brings a smile to my face every day. So that was definitely a highlight. Another one is finding new strategies that work for us. I've kind of already talked about that, but when you're in the constant launch mode, you don't have time to experiment with anything else. For us, it was like rinse and repeat, or, we've tried a few new things here and there. Like we did a conference in 2022. In 2023, we did like a 3-day paid workshop. I guess like those things are new, but all I was doing were new big live launch events. I wasn't doing other stuff. So it has been really nice to find other things that have been working, and I'm interested to see if they keep working. You all know the story of how that goes. But it's been fun to play around with other things. My brain really loves organizing and making processes. And when I add something new, I get to do that. So I'm kind of in my happy place right now. And I guess the last highlight would be, when this episode comes out, I'll be able to know for sure. But right now, looking at numbers, this is on track to be our biggest year yet, which is exciting. The numbers definitely aren't the biggest part of what motivates me in this business, but it's fun to see, right? That this thing that I built from the ground up is continuing to grow, even in situations where, some people are seeing that the economy is not great and things like that. It's just good for me to see that things are growing year after year. I thought I maxed out in 2021. That was a big year for online business. I know any of you who have been around a while, you probably saw a big spike in 2021 and now you're trying to recreate that. I was worried I never was going to. And I think we're going to just kind of squeak by that this year. So that to me is really saying good things, that we are continuing to grow, even though I don't know if online business will ever look like that again, right? Where thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are ready to start their own online businesses. And those of us who are already here and established kind of got to reap the benefits of that. But it's been good to see. We'll see if we can do it again in the coming year. So those are my highlights. As for lessons, I always like to share lessons with you guys as I have them. And this is what I got this year. First up is I take zero credit for this, but the lesson is my business fits in the container that I give it. All credit for this goes to Caitlin Kessler, who is my coach. She's amazing. She's been on the podcast a couple of times. Definitely go look for those episodes because she's brilliant. Follow her on Instagram. But like I said earlier, I was just working all the time. Any free second I had was spent working. I would be with my girls and, they got busy doing something. I'm like, oh my gosh, let me grab my laptop while they're busy. And that's not good. And like I said before, I was worried that I had to do that for things to keep growing and to do all the things I needed to do. And my coach taught me, your business will fit in the container that you give it. If you reduce your time, it will fit in that time. And that has absolutely been true. So true. Removing all nights, removing every weekend, and my business is still fine. Maybe means I have to be more choosy about the things that I do, but I think that's a good thing. I'm not just wasting time spinning my wheels on things. So that has been a really powerful lesson. The next lesson came out of that in-person event I mentioned. And the lesson is that I can grow this business without being discontent with where I'm at. And I didn't, for the past, 6 months, year, I didn't think I wanted to grow. I was like, when am I going to just be happy with where I'm at? I want to be happy with that. And there was even a time, I don't remember exactly when it was, September maybe? We closed enrollment to the accelerator because we know that with, our team looking a certain way, we can handle about 7 or 8 client summits happening per month. And above that, it is really hard to keep up with them all for our current team. And I was like, I don't want to grow beyond that. I don't want to bring on more team members to hire just so I can support more clients. I just want to be happy with where I am. We make plenty of money. I'm able to give plenty of money. I support our team and things like that. This can be good. But what the event I went to was that I can still be perfectly content with where I'm at right now, with the money I make, with the people I support, with the team members I support, with the causes I support. And I can be working towards growth as I am totally content. And that was a big like weightlifted and really exciting. And I'm totally going with it. With that being said, though, I am being really careful about being intentional about it. Like the next lesson I was going to talk about ties in here. It was going to be like a mindset shift when it comes to growing my team. And part of what I've been so hesitant about when it comes to growing is like, to grow my team, I then have to make more money. And then it's more pressure to make more sales so that I can support that team. What if I just don't grow my team and just keep the business where it's at? And then I don't have to work so much harder to get the sales coming in and things like that. But again, as part of this realization that I can grow while being content, I can grow while being really intentional about it. I can grow while keeping my business in the hours I give it and only doing things with marketing that feel good. And if something doesn't feel good, I can stop. I can let people go if I have to. Like that's one of my worst nightmares is hiring someone and then having to let them go because, the position didn't work out or, the business isn't growing the way I thought. But like that's business, right? It happens. And I know I would let them go with so much love if it ever came to that. It doesn't look like it's going to. I don't think that's the way it works. So yeah, I'm just trying to grow really intentionally at this point and not let that growth mean that I am not happy with where I'm at, because I totally am. So yeah. So the next one was going to be about the team, which I kind of already talked about, but I think it was funny because right after I had this realization that I talked about, where I was like, oh, I can grow and be happy. Oh, I can add new team members in a way that feel right. I literally hired a new part-time team member a month later. And it has been great. So I'm going to keep that moving forward. I'm not going to let my fear of growth hold me back from growing, because that's just not how we should do things, right? We shouldn't let fear hold us back. I'm going to let excitement push me forward instead. Another lesson that I learned is that I can serve people so much better by getting my offers in front of them. I've always said that I believed that, but I don't think I really believed that, because I've always been really scared of selling, really scared of talking about my offers, because I don't want people to perceive me as pitching them or, being money hungry or anything like this. But I know for a fact, 100% fact, I can get people better summit results in my programs worth far and beyond the amount of money they would pay to be in the programs than they would hosting the summits on their own. I know that for a fact. I have seen it time and time again. I know I can serve people better by getting them in my programs. And I have been really trying to own that. I have been, talking about it more on social media. I've been hesitating less to talk to people. If we're in a one-to-one conversation, I've been emailing my list more to make sure that they know that I can serve them way better than the weekly emails they're getting, and I'm going to keep doing that. And if someone doesn't like it, they can leave. But I hope that they'll see my heart behind it and see the potential and let me help, because that's what I love to do. I love helping people. So that has been fun to kind of step into more. It's a better energy than being afraid to tell someone about the thing I worked so dang hard on. Something else I have learned this year is that I am not here to save anybody's business. Our old messaging was much more based on, I guess, scarcity in a way around hosting summits to get out of a crappy place in business. And I didn't mean to do that. That's just what came out. But it doesn't serve anyone well. I hate the pressure. I hate the pressure of someone coming into one of my offers feeling like I can save them. And I don't want clients to have that kind of pressure on their summits. That is summits are a lot of pressure on their own. I don't want someone coming in and hosting a summit with all this pressure of if this doesn't work, that's it. I'm done. I don't like that. The type of risk a summit should be is the exciting kind, right? And it just wasn't healthy for me to have that pressure either. And I actually found myself getting so good at marketing and selling that I could sell someone into one of my offers when they were in this place. And I had to catch myself and be this is not what I want to be doing. I only want to bring someone in if it's going to be good for where they're at mindset wise. Even if I do think a summit could save their business in some cases, that's just too much pressure to be on me and their events and on them. So yeah, that was a good revelation to have also. Another thing I learned is that people don't care as much as I used to think they did. And this has given me so much freedom. So much. I used to be afraid to post on Instagram. I was afraid to post in our Facebook group because I was like, oh my gosh, someone is not going to like this and be really annoyed that I posted and say mean things. But guess what? People don't care. So yeah, I used to not post when I wanted to. Now I post whenever I want. I also don't post when I don't want to. I have like a recurring task that has like my list of daily tasks, and on that is to post in our Facebook group and to post on Instagram every day. And some days I just don't want to. I don't know what to say. I don't want to figure it out. And lately I just have not been forcing it. And it's just so nice. And I haven't noticed any negative repercussions. Everything is fine. So it's been a good realization to have. No one cares if I don't post on social media for a couple weeks. I just don't. I also, through this, have gotten the freedom to email my list more than I used to. I used to send my weekly, like I have some sequences that people go through for like 6 months, that they get like 2 or 3 emails from me per week, but then after that they get 1 email per week. And I was very hesitant to email more than that. But now I email whenever I want to. If I'm launching, I'll put like a, opt out of the launch type situation. And like I'm being thoughtful every time I send an email, right? But I'm not going to hesitate to say something when I have something to say, when people are signed up to my email list to hear from me and to learn about summits. And again, circling back to the lesson that I serve people so much better by getting my offers in front of them, that ties right back in here. I'm going to get my offers in front of them. So that has been good also. And like last with this lesson of people not caring as much as I think, it's given me the freedom to launch when I want to and skip it when my energy isn't there. No one cared that I didn't launch in Q4. Nobody. Nobody probably noticed. And it was good for me and my team to get a break from that. And I'm just not going to overthink it from now on. If I want to go from one launch to the next, I'm going to do it. If I don't want to launch for a year, I'm not going to do it. And it's going to be good. It's going to be better. So that's been a good revelation. And the last one I have here is that it is not worth it to try to force tasks. And I hate to think back at how much time I must have wasted over the past, how many years? 8 years? Sitting at my computer, staring at it, trying to force myself to get enough momentum to do something. And there have been a couple times over the past few months where I felt that wall come up and grab my phone, Vox my coach, like, hey, I want to do this thing today. I'm just not feeling it. Can you help me? And she's like, no. I mean, she helps. But the point is not to force it. But what if we table that? What if we do something that you do feel like doing? Whether it's a task that's less important, whether it's sitting on the couch and doing nothing, whether it's getting a snack, going for a walk, talking to your team, whatever it is. What if you do something that feels better now and come back to this thing that you're having trouble tackling at a different time, when it does feel better, when the momentum and energy is there? And oh man, when I come back to those kinds of things with a fresh mind, my work is 100% better and faster because of it. The most recent time that this happened was last week. Yeah, last week I wanted to make a new training. Yeah, like a freebie type training to send out to our email list. And I was going to do it on Monday. And, got the blank Google Doc pulled up so I could start working on it. And I didn't want to. Straight up did not want to. Felt impossible to do. And I did maybe try to get myself to do it a little longer than I quote unquote should have. But I did eventually have the realization this does not need to happen today. And if it does, it's not going to be good. And I came back to it the next day and whipped out the whole outline and script in one shot. And it was easy and it was good. And no one cared that it was a day later, right? Again, nobody cares. So that has been a really good thing. And I'm going to keep leaning on that. As much as I love checking off tasks on the original day I set them to be due, it is so much better to just pay attention to energy and work with that. So hopefully 1 or 2 of those were good for you to hear and interesting, and maybe open your minds to some things that you can shift a little bit also. Let's see. Also, a few things looking back on the year as for shifts we made in our strategies. We've gotten back into Facebook ads. So at the end of 2022, we I don't want to say stopped, but we cut way back on our ads just because things weren't working well. And we're starting to see them working better again for us, whether that's algorithm and tech changes, whether it's, Ellie, who does my ads, figuring things out. But they're starting to work for us more again. So we're starting to lean on those, which is, another part of why I do have the freedom and space to only launch when I want to, which is nice. Another strategy shift I've made, I've mentioned this a couple of times, so I won't go into it, but is just doing fewer new things, trying to do more rinse and repeat, and trying to keep myself focused when all the new ideas pop up and really reflect on, like, does this just sound fun or is it actually a good idea? And kind of making more intentional decisions. Not that I'm not going to do something just because it's only fun and doesn't make strategic sense. Like, I'll let myself do stuff if I really want to, but I'm more reflective on it. And yeah, another strategy shift that I've kind of mentioned already is having more conversations with people. My first 8 years in business, I did not accept a single sales-related call. Like, if someone would message me, be like, hey, can we get on a quick call to talk about Summit in a Box? Can we get on a quick call to talk about the accelerator or your services or whatever? It was a hard pass for me. And like, people would straight up say, like, I'm not going to join this if I can't talk to you first. And I would say, all right, good luck, because I just wasn't going to do it. But now I will. And I do. When you go into calls with the intention of serving people, it just makes it so much better. Even if I know someone signed up for the call because they wanted me to sell to them, like, I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm going to sit and ask about their goals and ask about what they need help with. And if I think I can help them, I'm going to ask, do you want to hear about this offer? And only then, if they say yes, will I say a single thing about our programs. And that has been really great. It's been really great to talk to people, hear feedback, answer questions, be able to customize experiences in our accelerator program for people based on their questions, because we have the power to do that with the group coaching program. And that's been really cool. It's been a fun shift in strategy. And again, just a way to serve people so much better. And I love it. So yeah, as for what's coming, I don't know. Nobody knows. Only God knows what's coming. I think overall, it's going to be fewer big things. I have an idea for a new course. I just have to figure out where it fits. As of today, I've literally had this idea in my head all year. I've mapped out the outline. I've hired someone to write the sales page and launch emails and webinar promo emails and all of that months ago. And I've just been sitting on them because it hasn't felt right. Just today, I'm like, can we do this in January? So we'll see if it happens. If we have a new course come out in January, I'm just going to do it where it fits. And I need to just be very sure that launching it isn't going to make me go back into the hustle mode, So maybe that. I also really want to do a summit again. Our last summit was in December 2022. I like to walk my talk. Our summits for Summit in a Box, I think, are hard for me just because, like, the positioning just isn't as good as so many of our clients I see. Like, our clients in B2B niches, they get to do such fun things with summits and see such high conversion rates and get tens of thousands of people sign up. It's not going to happen for a Summit About Summits. It's just not. So that makes it seem less exciting to me. But they are so powerful. And I'm guessing in 2024, I'm going to feel the need for some momentum. And a summit will happen. I just don't know when yet. So we shall see. I'll keep you posted. I think we'll do some rinse and repeat stuff again in 2024. So we'll definitely be doing our challenge again because those are just so easy for me to run and, always gets us good results and serves people well. And we might bring our Beyond One and Done training back again, which is a workshop for people who have hosted summits before. And I foresee us needing to grow the team again. With the way the accelerator has been growing and welcoming new clients. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that after the fourth quarter sales rush happens. And I'll talk more about it in our team recap episode that I have coming up. So anyways, I hope this was interesting. Let me know if it was interesting. And then always let me know if you want to hear more behind the scenes stuff, if you have specific questions. These episodes are really fun for me to record. I just don't know what you want to hear. So yeah, I hope it's encouragement for you to fit your business in the container that you want to give it, to be content with where you're at while also growing, and to give yourself some freedom because people just don't care as much as we think they do. So yeah, maybe do some thinking on that. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. For show notes and resources, head to the link in the episode description wherever you're listening and go out and take action to plan, strategize, and launch your high converting virtual summit.